When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
John!
What?
Red 7!
I don't know what Red 7 means.
Hot route!
I don't. What is hot route?
Will you just go stand on the other side, please?
Down! Ready, down, set, hut, 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 hut!
Hit me! Booyah! That's what we call a sack lunch. Nom, 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 nom.
It's time for the Soonerscoop.com postgame show presented by Eskridge Lexus in Oklahoma City. Eskridge Lexus is the official travel partner of Soonerscoop.com podcasts. Now, here's your road crew, Carey, Eddie, and Bob, wrapping up all the action and reaction from this week's game.
All right, welcome back. It is the Eskridge Lexus Postgame Podcast for the very final time in 2025. That's right, because the Sooners fall to Alabama on their home turf, 34-24, and it was a surreal night for me, gentlemen. Just from the fact that it was a home playoff game, as George pointed out, you walk in there and you see the CFP banners everywhere. And you realize, what this game is, and we've never seen anything like it before on Owen Field. And then the Sooners, for about a quarter and a bit, I thought that they were going to go ahead and win the national championship.
I think everybody thought that.
They were incredible.
It was an unbelievable first quarter.
Holy crap.
They just... Didn't mean to do that. They started off so great. And I think that's what's going to sting the most when you look back at this is the way that they were able to build the 17-point lead. And then basically in the blink of an eye, it was gone.
I actually thought about that. I recorded it at home, and because I'm on the field, I like to watch. I'm sure you're like this, Eddie. You like to watch the TV copy to see kind of what you missed, maybe. And I'm going to rewatch this game quite a bit, I think, during the offseason. And I would think that the Oklahoma players are going to rewatch it and think to themselves, we were damn close to being a championship-level team for the first quarter of that game, and then we just shit the bed.
Yeah, they showed you kind of it was like this epiphany. I was sitting there going they've done it. They have put it all together.
Unfortunately, there was about 45 minutes left.
Yeah.
It's
at one point I think it was 180 yards for OU and 12 for Alabama.
And even
dominating.
after that point, obviously they had I think it was Alabama scored their 17 points in 5 minutes. Even after that, guys, to me, and I'm not saying Alabama didn't. It felt like Oklahoma was the better team for a large portion of that game, and they just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Yeah, and it was kind of
snowballed on them. I mean,
it snowballed. It snowballed. They couldn't stop the bleeding.
It started with the drop pass by Xavier Robinson.
Yeah, God, that was bad.
Then you had the drop punt.
Even before the drop pass, and then they get the drop punt or block punt, whatever you want to call it. It was a drop punt that led to a block punt.
And then
but you survived it.
But then you have a pick six.
But then the pick six
was the backbreaker.
The pick six was the backbreaker because if you go into halftime 17-10, or if you're able to scratch out a field goal, make it 20-10 or something like that, I think it just feels different.
Yeah.
And I know that we talked about this at halftime, George, up at the press box. It just seemed like everything had gone wrong.
But wait a second. I mean, we have the pick six, but then the piece de resistance. Tate Sandell misses 2 field goals.
Yeah, and that's I don't know what happens. We'll see, what would happen in that situation, but the 36-yarder at the end of the game, if he makes that, I'm not saying Oklahoma's going to come back and win the game, but they're going to have a chance.
It's going to be a 7-point game with about 4 minutes left.
Send it to overtime.
You're going to still have to go down and score a touchdown. But, yeah, everything that...
And I just say, I see why they did try the 51-yarder.
Oh, yeah.
You
have to have time on the clock if you get the onside kick.
It's a 2-score game anyways.
Yeah.
I don't I don't hate that. I was shocked that it came up short.
Yeah.
For sure. I think
Which
he was
way
one of those.
was the wind going? I could never
He was
tell.
kicking with the wind. It was coming from the south.
It was going left.
So
to
he
right,
made a
though.
51-yarder earlier in the game into the wind, and then he came up short with the wind.
I think what happened was he just took a little off for the sake of accuracy.
Yeah.
And just left it short. He just did like a putt. You just left it short.
Grayson Miller was terrible.
I just don't understand how he drops a punt because it was a good snap. He caught it, and it was on the toss down or whatever to the foot that it was like something happened in his brain where he was like, I don't know if he thought it was too far away from his body. It was just a bad operation overall. And I think that's like the tough part, right? Because this special teams have been unbelievable.
So good, yeah.
I mean, it started out if Owen Heineke blocks that punt.
Oh man, I totally forgot about that.
So close.
Yeah.
He was so close. I would have had the definitive picture of the year if he had actually blocked that punt because I have a photo where the ball is just escaping his hands, his outreached hands. And it's insane. I mean, he was so close to that.
Yeah. It was everything that happened in the first quarter was just so perfect. The crowd was amazing. It felt like the energy in the stadium was I've never been up in the press box like that when it was shaking at points. And you got a little bit of that after Deion Burke's touchdown to begin the fourth quarter. It just I don't know. It's going to be one that I think eats at them for a long, long time because it was certainly there, and you hate putting it on a couple plays, but the drop from Xavier Robinson, that was just kind of the starting point. It was the turning point in the game because it's going to be 21-7 possibly if he's able to score there. I just I don't know. It just felt like that was the first real gut punch, and then to follow it up with the block punt, it was just I don't know. It was rough.
Okay, I want to get to John Mateer, Ben Arbuckle, because obviously that's getting a lot of talk on social media in our mentions. But first, I want to take a time out and just tell you guys how much we appreciate Ed Eskridge and Eskridge Lexus over the years. Been a big part of this thing since the beginning. And a lot of people, I've been doing a lot of stuff with our people at On3 about advertising and things like that. You guys are making the post-game podcast almost as big as the unofficial 40. Like, it's grown so much. It was probably about 60% at its height, and now it's getting closer to 100%. And Eskridge Lexus is a big part of that. They've kept us doing it every year. All the travel that they provide for us, they're our official travel partner and the sponsor of the Sooner Scoop Postgame Podcast. So, they're always happy to send us anywhere we need to on the road with a brand new Lexus. Check EskridgeLexus.com for the most up-to-date inventories, including all new Lexus and Lexus L certified vehicles, or to book your next service appointment. Those are important because Lexus just don't break down, especially if you're getting service. All Lexus L certified vehicles come with an unlimited mile full factory warranty with up to 6 years of coverage. L certified cars also come with 4 free services, free car washes, and use of brand new Lexus loaner vehicles while your car is in our service department. And Eddie's Tires have had him in there a lot lately. And unlike other dealers, Eskridge Lexus never charges a dock fee or makes you pay for accessories that you really don't want. So please, folks, go visit EskridgeLexus.com or call them at 405-755-9000. That's 405-755-9000. And just for you, Ed, one last time. Boomer. Okay. Guys, John Mateer's played really well the last 2 games, and I thought tonight he completed a lot of those passes to guys that he hits them in stride, and they're able to do something with it, after they. And it wasn't just Deion Burks. I mean, he did that on one play with Giovanni Gibson. That's another thing. Like Giovanni Gibson, how is he not more involved? Because every time we see him, Jermichael Carter, I mean, every time you throw him the ball, he makes a big catch.
He loves playing against Alabama, I think. There's something about it. That deep dig route over the middle was there for most of the night. And, there's a lot of people that are going to blame John Mateer for the game tonight. I find that unfair. I know that George talked about it in the instant reaction. Probably would push back on that a little bit. There's just, Carey, there's so many highs with John, and then the lows cost you the type of game. And the pick six, just that can't happen. You can't give up a pick six like that.
especially in that moment.
So, Carey, what did you think on the Xavier Robinson dropped?
It was right in front of me.
Yeah, he has plenty of room.
He could have picked up the first down.
I think that's the throw, though. You have to make that throw.
I don't blame him at all for making that throw.
No. I mean, people that are criticizing him for not just taking the first down. No. I mean, you have a guy wide open down the field that could possibly score a touchdown. You throw the ball to him.
Well,
and it hits him in the hands.
The flip side of that is if he picks up a first down with his legs and then they all of a sudden don't score, everybody says, why did he throw it to Xavier Robinson? He was wide open. And that was a hell of a play to get out of the pocket there.
The John Mateer discussion is so difficult, and I think I said this. I don't know if it was the last podcast, but it's a true conundrum in the sense that, like you said, Eddie, the highs are like. There's moments where you're like, is John Mateer the best quarterback that's ever played the sport?
The touchdown throw to Burks in the fourth quarter, that's about as good of a throw as you can
and then
get.
he has moments where you're like, what the F is he doing? Yeah. And that's the part that it's hard.
It's
because
like he had a jump throw early in the game, or in the third quarter. And I was still up in the photo editing room as it had started. And, like, Fowler was even like, Mateer has these moments where he does things that are just kind of unconventional. And, that was an example right there. He didn't have to jump up and throw
fundamentals.
Yeah.
We're throwing
and he gets the balls knocked down a lot, which, I knew was going to happen with that sidearm motion.
But can I, here's my thing with Mateer is, like, yes, he has some major flaws. He's also, like, the only reason the offense does anything, like, I was reading you guys this, it was his third best quarterback rating of the season, behind only the Illinois State and Auburn games, and it was basically on par with the Auburn game. He accounted for 89% of their offensive production tonight. Like, to me, Oklahoma was not going to win this football game with John Mateer throwing the ball 41 times. Like, that's just not a recipe for success for the offense, but he has to because it's the only way they're moving the football.
And by the way, if college football counted sack yardage like the NFL does, Mateer would have been the leading rusher tonight too.
Yeah, my stance on it.
I understand the frustration of the fan base.
And if you would
I
be
don't
out
think that
on
those
them,
people are idiots. I don't. But I do think that
they're naive to.
Heat
I think they're naive to think that they can go get somebody better.
Yeah, but I'll say this: I think the fans, what they see is, okay, well, you got us this guy, Ben Arbuckle, that's this young whiz, and he's bringing his quarterback with him that led the NCAA in touchdowns last year. And then, Bill Bedenbaugh, says, that he reminds him of Lincoln Riley in the preseason, and we're like, holy shit, like, really? Like, and so I think everyone thought that they were getting Lincoln Riley and Baker.
It looked like Lincoln Riley and Baker for the first quarter.
It did, yeah. But that's not what they got this year.
No, and look, but
it's also a lot like
that's such an unfair expectation too.
Right, and it's just like the Baker thing, trying to play hurt in Cleveland, it ended up costing his job there.
Yeah, and I do think, like, looking back on it, we always we can't keep giving the excuse for the hand. The hand was clearly an issue. You cannot tell me that the last two games John Mateer looked like a different player in terms of throwing the football than he did all the way back in the Texas game. Even the Tennessee, South Carolina game.
Remember when we were talking about how this offense isn't generating any explosive plays? That's all they've done the last two games.
My stance on it is, and I get it, if people are out on him, I totally get it. He has these flaws where he gets happy feet, he fades back in the pocket, he makes a bad decision throughout the game. I think, though, if you're Oklahoma, you have to bet on him getting rid of a few of those lows, having a few more highs, and what would that end up being? Like, if Oklahoma had one less or a few less, bad plays from John Mateer this year and a few more good plays, what would their record be right now? And I think that the other part too is Oklahoma doesn't have a Jeremiah Bernard who can go up and moss somebody, Jeremy Bernard, whatever, a Bernard and moss a player and set up a 1st and goal inside the like, they don't have that player. They don't have a Cuevas who just gets open all the time at tight end. Like, they don't have a running back. Like, this idea that it's all Mateer, and I get it, he's got to be better. I think they need to get a lot better around him too. Like, I do. It's that's very clear they don't have enough guys.
That's why I asked Ben Arbuckle that question afterwards. I mean, remember, Brent Venables defense the last 2 years has been awesome. It was not awesome when he first got here. It was good, and it was better, but they kept giving up 3rd and long
statistically,
all the time.
They actually were terrible his first year.
Like, this is his first year in an offense. Just like with Brent Venables, like, his roster was decimated on both sides of the ball. Well, now Ben Arbuckle comes in here, and his roster's just been decimated by just transfers and, offensive coordinator leaving and just left with guys that aren't talented. The tight end room had been basically mismanaged.
He said it, and we've heard Britt say this about the defense. Like, it went from trying to teach them the defense to they know the defense, and now you can install more stuff or they can grow and develop. They're teaching the younger guys the defense. The offense, they don't have that right now. There's no continuity on the offense. And I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and call for people's jobs, but I do think you have to at some point look at the production at certain positions over the last few years and say, does there need to be changes? Because, like, they just don't have the talent, one, and they don't have the development. Like, who on offense over the last, let's say, 3 years has legitimately gotten better?
I think the fact that we have to sit here and think about it probably tells you.
Well, I mean, we talked ad nauseum about how they're not playing any high school receivers. I mean, they're playing all portal guys. Let me throw you. I went and looked up the stats for Brent Venables' first year on defense. I think we all could guess that Danny Stutzman led the team in tackles. But how about some of these names? The second leading tackler was a guy had a lot of promise. But when Brent started getting in the guys he wanted, he didn't have a place on the team, and that's David Agwebu. What did he transfer to Houston?
Yeah.
Deshaun White, who's a good player, just had a cup of coffee in the NFL. Justin Broyles was their 4th leading tackler.
And we're not saying that, like,
Key Lawrence
Ben Arbuckle's going to suddenly turn OU's offense into what Brent's defense is, but you do have to, like, remember they're starting somewhat from scratch. I mean, they started 3 freshmen tonight on the offensive line.
Sure.
And a guy who's only played guard his entire career at center, and a transfer from Western Carolina at right tackle. The second leading receiver played at McNeese State last year. The third leading receiver played at Arkansas fucking Pine Bluff and has only played receiver for 2 seasons. Like,
respect to RPB.
But you know what I mean?
No.
I mean, the best team John Mateer played in his entire career came last year against Washington.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Yeah. Like, this isn't some, like, he didn't take over a Ferrari. He took over, like, a beat up.
Brent now.
You know what I mean, though? Like, when you put it like that, it's like, well, okay. They don't have any pieces.
It's kind of incredible they got to where they did.
Yes.
I agree with you.
And after a year where it was an offensive abomination a year ago.
Sure, it was the worst offense in the history of the
program. Who would want to come and play for a coach that hired that guy on offense and who had a 5-star that, the perception was, well, they ruined Jackson Arnold. Jackson Arnold just wasn't that good.
I can also tell you, too, for the people that want to get rid of Mateer, and again, I don't blame anybody if you have that opinion. I think there's going to be some big-time wide receivers that enter the portal that would love to play for John Mateer.
Play with him, yeah.
Well, and you saw it tonight. We've seen it all season. There are times when, and he did a good job of it overall tonight, but he got sacked because guys can't get open. He doesn't have enough guys out. And they were obviously keying on Isaiah Satania tonight because he was barely anywhere to be found. What did he? How many catches?
He had 2 receptions for 17 yards. He did have the touchdown, which was a great play call. Burks was awesome. Deion Burks, for someone that we kind of shit on over the last month about he hadn't really lived up to expectations. He was awesome tonight.
Jermichael Carter, 3 catches, 46 yards.
I'm really curious what they're going to do at wide receiver in terms of who's going to be asked to stay and who's going to be asked to go.
I want Zion Kearney, Jermichael Carter, Giovanni Gibson, Elijah Thomas.
Is that it?
I'm just trying to go through the list in my head.
Those are the guys you 1,000%.
Maybe an Ivan Carey on, but maybe not.
If he wasn't 6'3", I'd say no. From a size point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you, Eddie. I think those are about the only four that I'm like, you want to hang on. And
Manny Choice. I want to see him stay around.
Yeah. Satania, I think, is gone. I think he's going to go to the NFL.
And I agree with you on that. I think that you can build something around those guys. You're obviously going to have to go get somebody.
You're going to have to go get a number one. You're gonna have to go get a guy.
I think that their number one, though, in the portal is going to be a tight end. On the big board of the grand scheme
I agree,
of things,
but I think you have to get
it. Yeah, you're going to have to get a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple.
You might have to get a couple, yeah.
No, I agree. I just think that, and you bring up some really good points, George. When you look at what this offense was and what they were trying to deal with and work with, the one thing that I do know on this offense, I think you got three guys up front that can play a lot of football here over the next couple of years in Brian Foggi, Michael Fasusi,
and they weren't
Eddie Pierre-Louis.
We have to talk about them. The offensive line wasn't great tonight. No. They had moments, and that's going to happen against teams like Alabama.
First quarter, I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they were. But I think that as the game progressed, Alabama really leaned on them. And Fasusi and Pierre-Louis especially, Alabama was doing some different stunts up front, and they really struggled to pick some of them up.
They're having a tough time. I know that Gabe said it on the broadcast about passing everything off. It just and that's going to happen. I mean, you had a guy in Michael Fasusi. I know that he's played. He's still relatively a young player, not just at Oklahoma, but a young player just overall in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of youth that's a problem on the offensive line,
and you can live with that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. They got thrown into a terrible situation
they had
this year.
One just bad false start that put them behind the change.
Yeah, and it came at probably the most inopportune time ever when it's 3rd and 5, and then all of a sudden you're backed up on the 7.
It just felt like once they let Alabama back in the game, it felt like very few things went Oklahoma's way other than 50 Cent coming out and giving them a spark for Deion Burks.
Which was a bad performance, I think we all agree
Yes,
on.
50 Cent was terrible.
Not great.
He was not good.
Good to see 50,
it was a cool
he was there
moment.
for the paycheck.
Good to see Mr. Jackson. In terms of God, where was I going to go with this? It's late.
So wait, are we all of the same opinion that if you're Jim Nagy, are you bringing John Mateer back?
I would, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Josh McCuistion would not.
Well, let's let him.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it with him on Monday in the Game Day Rewind.
I don't know what he might have been imbibing in by the time that game was over.
I don't blame anybody if that's your opinion. I would just love to know who exactly are you targeting, and are you willing to pay them that amount of money?
It's only one of the best portal QB classes that we've seen.
See, I disagree. There's no one that's been in that I'm like, oh man, they're just.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you say, is anybody going to ask? Yes, because they look at that portal class and they're just like,
Sam
we'd
Leavitt,
just rather see
Sam
somebody
Leavitt's
else.
the one that I would be very interested in. But at the same time, I saw today the report of, I think it was Thamel that said the top guy could garner up to $5 million. I would rather Oklahoma spend that $5 million on a wide receiver and a tight end.
Sure.
Yeah.
And keep John Mateer whatever they're paying him.
That's the question. If you could get Cam Coleman and keep John Mateer, would you do that over taking Sam Leavitt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd do that in
100%.
a heartbeat. I'd do that in a heartbeat. I thought tonight, too, I told George on the walk back, was this game not like the quintessential example of why field position matters in a game?
Yeah.
In the first quarter, Oklahoma dominated the field position. Second half, they couldn't get out. I think the average starting point for Alabama in the second half was probably the 45-yard line.
The other thing too is it's not a stat. You're not going to find it anywhere. But if you made opportunistic rushing a stat, you run the ball when you really have to run it, Hill just killed Oklahoma at an inopportune time.
The 30-yard run, I think they said, was the longest play from scrimmage via the ground for Alabama since week 2.
And then the play where Hill runs through 5 guys to score that touchdown.
Yeah. Second down, second and goal from the 6. I don't know.
And look, OU outrushed him, right? Yeah.
I think they might have ended up. OU only had 55 on the ground. I think Alabama ended up with like 60.
OU had 85.
85. Oh, 55 net.
And just for the
Alabama
people out
had
there,
73.
Just for the people out there that don't know, just because Oklahoma outgained Alabama does not mean they will be advancing the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Rough.
Well, and I mean, look, we got to kind of ask Brent Venables some bigger picture questions in the postgame. And I'll say this, Brent, he seemed satisfied. Would that be the way, not happy, not okay with the loss, but satisfied with the progress that the program has made this year?
Yeah.
I think maybe even termed it a successful season.
Well, I think that like the people that were in our mentions after the game talking about what a shit season and stuff, that's just so insane
well,
to
it's
me.
because it's 11 o'clock.
They're mad, you're drunk, and I get it. But to take a step back from where this was, I think every single person in that stadium would have signed up for a home playoff game, a 10-2 season, a remarkable turnaround from the Ole Miss game and winning the 4 games in November. Like, they checked a lot of boxes. It's going to be tough to see the big picture moving forward. But I do think that they built a nice foundation. They found some success. I mean, we were talking about, are they going to have to fire Brent less than a month and a half ago? And all of a sudden they were going to go win a national championship? I understand that the way that they lost and the way that the feeling that you have right now is shit.
It just sucks because it's just
it's a very
it
was a likable team. You wanted to see them win.
Blowing another 17-point lead, like you just become like it's not that they're the laughing stock of college football, but there's certainly
they're
like
the butt end of the joke.
Yeah, it's an embarrassment.
There's been
it sucks.
2 17-point blown losses in the college football playoff. They're both to Oklahoma. Now, one was to a really good Georgia team. One was to I guess a really good Alabama team, a team that played really well tonight. They're the first home team to ever lose in the college football playoff.
I'm not even sure Alabama played well tonight.
Alabama will beat Indiana.
I don't know about that, but I thought they played well. They played well tonight. Oklahoma just did not, after the 17-0, they just didn't play good. They did not play well the rest of the game.
No.
It's almost like...
And a big part of it was the special teams.
Yeah, that to me...
Special teams was terrible.
The punter was a bigger problem than the quarterback.
I just don't know. Like, the drop kick or the drop punt, block punt was one thing. I told George Carey on the way back, I thought the punt after the false start and they had to punt from deep in their own territory, I thought that was the worst kick of the season.
Oh, Hilton stay, your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay, a holiday you're saving.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. This season, enjoy spacious, comfortable rooms and friendly service when you book with Hilton instead. Hilton for the stay.
You have the wind with you, and you can't even get it out past the 50?
It was not good.
I think there were some nerves.
That was one of those things where my brain was resetting because I am down on the field and looking directly at the punt, so I can't really tell how far it went. But then when I saw him spotting the ball, I was like, "That's like they're inside like the 40."
Yeah, there's
what the hell?
Because they picked up like 6 maybe yards on the return. I mean, it was so short that Cole Adams didn't even come up and try to grab it. It was the other guy.
Well, the other really big thing tonight was the biggest difference between this game and the last game. My God, I can't talk either. You got pressure on Ty Simpson consistently. They didn't do that tonight. They couldn't do that tonight.
The only time they really felt like they were getting pressure were on the back-to-back sacks there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And R. Mason Thomas,
Stud.
unbelievable. Not bull rush, but unbelievable play there to kind of force Ty Simpson back into the middle of the pocket, and Owen Heineke was there to clean it up. That was beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there were some good moments, just like everything we're talking about. There were some really good moments tonight, but you're playing against, let's face it, one of the 10 best teams in the country.
And I think that like this is cliche to say, but the magic just kind of ran out tonight. In some way. Like, it was like such a magical run in November where every time they needed a big play, every time they had a moment, they came up with it. And tonight it felt like that moment just never came. I thought maybe it was the Burks touchdown. It's like, okay, then the Heineke sack, here's your moment.
Felt a lot like the Ole Miss game in a lot of ways.
It did, where they're in it, they're coming back, they have a chance, and then it just kind of, the clock runs out, you don't take advantage of some opportunities, and that's that. And you can't afford to do that against good football teams. You have to come up in those moments. And you also just can't afford to blow a 17-point lead. You just can't do that.
Can't do it.
It really was like OU came in with a gigantic chip on their shoulder, and then when they got up 17-0,
they didn't know what to do.
It was almost like that was the worst thing that could have happened. As crazy as that sounds,
and it is like Brent talked about it after the game, but they go up 17-0. Everybody's going to remember the Xavier Robinson stuff and the blocked punt, but like the defense gives up a 75-yard touchdown drive in which Alabama had to convert a 3rd and 6, which I think Simpson threw just a gorgeous football on that 3rd and 6, and then the 4th and 3 down at the goal line. Like if Oklahoma stops, Kendall Daniels is coming on a blitz on that, and if he tips that ball and knocks it down, like the game's probably over. OU's going to take over on downs. Like Alabama doesn't score, or if Oklahoma tackles him, they miss like 3 tackles on that play, and he ends up scoring. Like if you hold him to a field goal there, like the game might be over.
Here's the thing, though. Alabama didn't play a perfect game. I mean,
they
dropped a lot of passes.
They dropped a lot. Yep.
So many drops. And, I mean, Ty Simpson, again, like on all those drops, very, very catchable footballs. I thought he was excellent.
And he was efficient. 18 to 29, 232, 2 touchdowns.
Didn't turn the ball over. Got beat in special teams.
His longest pass was 37 yards.
That's the game.
John Mateer, 26 of 41, 307, 2 touchdowns, a long of 38, sacked 5 times, and had a pick 6. And that's not like the difference in the game. It's a big part of it. But OU just, like, when they went to Tuscaloosa, they did things to cover up what they weren't doing well. Tonight, everybody was completely naked, basically. Special teams sucked. The defense couldn't get 34 points, and really it's 27. Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, 27's a lot.
It's yeah. I mean, it's just that's a tough one to swallow. There's no other way to say it. And for a day and an atmosphere down here, it was tremendous.
Yeah. If I told you guys before the game that OU was going to score 24 points,
I think they win 24-13.
Yeah, I was going to say I think they would have won. And if you would have read me John Mateer's stat line, and you didn't tell me it was a pick 6, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, OU won.
Yeah.
Like I said, just overall surreal for so many different reasons.
No doubt. I mean,
this offseason's going to be long, man.
It's going to be interesting because I do think that, I mean, do we all agree that just yes or no, there's going to be staff changes on the offensive side of the ball?
Yes.
I would agree.
I think there has to be.
Carey?
You have to start building this thing from the ground up like they did on the defense.
Yeah.
And they're not doing that with some of the recruiting and talent evaluation.
And I think you have to let Arbuckle go and get a guy or two of his, that he trusts on that side. Because that's one of the things too. And we said this, I think it was after the Texas game when we did the post-game pod. Then there's like, how did they not make more last season? I think that they're going to maybe correct that this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, the tight end room has been awful. And the only redeeming thing about Joe John Finley is he was okay when he took over for Seth Luttrell last year at times.
Oh, Beachy Dub, another guy I would keep on the wide receiver core. How about my man Jacob Jordan?
Shout out.
Getting that
I
reception
immediately
in the
thought
college
about
football playoff.
I immediately thought about our message board poster, Jacob Jordan Enjoyer.
Yeah.
As soon as
There's
he caught
also
that
the
pass.
Twitter
Absolutely.
account, Jacob Jordan Enthusiast. He's pretty
Shout
funny.
out.
Maybe it's the same person. I don't know.
Shout out. That was awesome.
He came in the game. I was like, Jacob Jordan's in the game, and he caught a big pass.
He caught a huge pass. I think he needs to play more.
That was another one of those moments where I was like, oh,
Team of Destiny.
Is OU a team of destiny? It was, I hate to bring this up. I hate it. It was very reminiscent of the Rose Bowl back in 2017.
Yeah.
Not for me, just because that was a total defensive collapse.
But wasn't this somewhat of an offensive
They didn't do shit
collapse?
in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but they still put themselves in position.
It was because of the defense and the scoop and score, Stephen Parker.
Yeah. No, that happened.
I mean, they're both terrible, terrible losses.
Yeah.
That 17-point lead in
And
the college football playoff
you blew
game.
a chance to play in the national championship. That's not what happened tonight.
Sure.
Carey, let me ask you this, because I said this on the instant reaction. Did you walk out of that game feeling like OU got outcoached?
Not really.
Okay, I didn't either. I was one of my takeaways was I didn't sit there thinking, man, what is Brent Venables doing, or what is Ben Arbuckle doing? Like there was more plays where it's like, oh my God, how did he drop that? Or, oh my God, how did he get the punt blocked? Or, oh my God, what is Mateer looking at?
I was thinking in the post game, and Brent, I think Arbuckle kind of alluded to this. Like you go into their big team meeting room, the red room, and it's got a giant sign in the middle of it that says the best is the standard. And Brent's been talking about the best is the standard since he got here. And all I could really think is, okay, now this team and this collection of guys that meet in this room every day, they have a much better understanding of what the standard actually looks like than any team before them. Because this is the most meaningful season-ending game that the Sooners have played under Brent Venables. And look, we talked about it all week, and Brent talked about it even going into the first Alabama game. Like Lawson was great tonight. I mean, every player on that roster, OU wanted, Ohio State wanted, Texas wanted. Like, it's a great roster. And they just kind of bowed up and said, we're better than you tonight.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee.
Finish your fantasy lineup?
No, but I'm joining this paid group chat with insider info.
Dude, seriously? Forward it to me. Security alert from McAfee. That group's as legit as that knockoff jersey you're wearing.
McAfee's scam detector is available in all McAfee plans for as little as $39.99 for your first year. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
Yeah. And I think the tough part, though, is Oklahoma certainly played a part in allowing that door to be open for them to step through.
Yeah, but at some point, don't we just sound like Alabama fans if we're,
No, because that's the truth.
Well, the truth was they played like crap when Oklahoma played there. It's just Oklahoma made them play like crap.
And Oklahoma was able to take advantage of the miscues. Like the team that was going to win this game was going to be the team that took advantage of being sound in special teams, not having terrible penalties. Like I know that it's a kind of a blip in the entire game, but the Taylor Wine personal foul, Fabechi personal foul after the play, like
it was Eddie Pierre-Louis. Sorry, yeah, and both of them are like ticky-tack, but it's like, what are you doing? You don't need to do that shit.
I mean, the crazy thing is Alabama scored 17 points in the second and then 17 points in the second half, while OU only scored 14.
Yeah.
After getting up 10-0. I mean, they won. Regardless of what happened, they were the better team. That's what I walked away. Not questioning the coaches. I just was like, they were the better team.
Alabama?
Yeah.
I didn't feel that way. I thought they were pretty even. I said this to you guys after. I think if OU and Alabama played 10 times, they'd split it. I really do. I think they're pretty even. I think tonight Alabama just made, a couple fewer, lesser mistakes.
Yeah, they won in the margins, and Oklahoma won in the margins down in Tuscaloosa.
You're never I would love to know the stat of how many games have teams won in which they threw a pick six.
Somebody tweeted me. I think it was a ChatGPT answer to the question, but I think it's 80% of the time a team that gets a pick six wins the game.
Yeah, I mean it's just shit like that.
I mean it's in one play to flip it up, flip it like that, flip a game like that. Certainly. And tonight, I thought that was that whole little segment there in the second quarter. That was the moment. And even then, after the pick six, there's 3.5 minutes left before halftime. I thought that they were pretty conservative there, but I also get what you're doing. They kind of got bailed out with the sideline interference call.
Yeah, they really did.
But I understand why they were being conservative, because you didn't want to let that thing balloon into all of a sudden you walk into halftime actually down on the scoreboard.
But see, the reason I say better team, if that penalty doesn't happen, they might have scored. They might have had the lead before halftime. I mean, OU was deep in its own territory.
Wait, what are you talking about?
The bailout of the sideline call. Wasn't that on third down?
It was on.
But OU had the ball at midfield to end the half. Remember, and they opted not to throw a Hail Mary.
It started deep in their own. What I'm saying is, if that penalty had not happened, they would have been 3 and out.
Penalty, yeah.
Well, OU would have had to punt. I mean,
they would have had to punt back.
Which
probably
I think
there
would have been 40 seconds
That's what
left.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think there would have been 40 or 50 seconds left.
We're playing the what if game. I mean, Alabama
But
was
they
the
could
better.
have been on OU side of the field.
Carey, I agree. Alabama was the better team tonight, but I would have argued, a month ago, Oklahoma was the better team that night in Tuscaloosa. I that's my thing is I don't know who's actually just genuinely.
Well, it's like we said along. They were the better team because they were better on defense and special teams.
I think Alabama was the more talented team.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got Ryan Williams and
Ryan Williams
Jeremy
didn't
Bernard.
do shit either. Again, Ryan Williams has got to get his shit together.
He's had a really, really rough year. I think he leads the country in drop passes. It's 13% or something. It's top 5 in the country. But he's so goddamn talented.
Bring him to Norman.
Every time he steps on the field, you think, okay, he could be the guy. He can make a difference in the game. Watch, he'll go have 3 touchdowns against Indiana.
But they're going to have to get. I mean, if they really want to be the team that chases a national title next year, they do need to get a legit tight end in the portal, even though they got high school kids that are highly ranked coming in, and they need another legit receiver.
Yeah. And I would say a running back, too.
I feel better that they have Hatton, but yeah, they could use a running back.
It'd be interesting to see what X has to do this offseason, see if he's headed to
I think
surgery.
he's going to need at least a knee scope in some fashion.
Yeah.
It's over.
I mean,
it's over. It's over.
It is over. It was a fun season.
Well, and you were saying this, you keep saying that, and people might not. People are like, "Oh, what's fun about losing?" Yeah, last year was terrible. I mean, it was awful.
I mean, it made us want to all quit our jobs.
You can admit it. I can freely admit that you guys and know that you guys hated it too because we felt it.
Eddie and I would get mad at each other all the time.
I don't know about that.
I remember we got in some I don't know, maybe not all the time.
It just sucks going and covering that shit.
I mean, covering the fucking Armed Forces Bowl was an all-time low moment.
It was bad.
Mean, it was
Shout out
just
to the military who served.
I told Eric Bailey, poor guy, was there tonight.
Oh my God!
World.
Yeah, if you want to blame someone, Eric Bailey. He was 1-12 this year.
1-13 now, I think. Right?
No, it was 1-12 counting tonight. And the one win
games.
was an FCS game that he covered up
UT
in Stillwater.
Martin. Yeah,
it's rough. It could be worse. Making the playoffs is a good thing. This sucks, though.
Yeah, it's all the same. Like you can say it was a good season, and the way it ended also sucks ass.
Sure.
And you can be mad.
Yeah.
And,
because they blew it. That's the thing. Is like if it was like a back and forth close game and they lost at the end and whatever, and maybe that would suck more too, kind of like the Georgia game in the Rose Bowl. Maybe that would suck even more. But like this one, you're going to think back and be like, shit.
17-0.
It was 17-0, And like think about if Oklahoma carries that forward and what if they ended up just blowing out Alabama? It's like, what could have been? Like, what was the ceiling for this team?
And there was some odd stuff going on. Like, did you guys see that part where R. Mason Thomas was yelling at Sammy Omosigho on the sideline, and Brent had to separate him, and then Grayson Halton, I think, started yelling at R. Mason.
Well, I think it's just emotions are high. I mean, these are guys that they're playing their last games, and they don't want to quit. They don't want to stop playing, and that's
it was after the big touchdown pass to the Brooks kid.
Yeah,
that he beat Eli Bowen on.
He was awesome tonight.
It's really good. But yeah, I mean, it's look, at least this offseason, we're talking about what little things that they need to do. It's not like, last year, Zach Lally leaves the day after. And you're like, what the hell's going on in this program? Like, I don't think we've had any of those, what the is happening inside the Switzer Center moments lately.
No, not since the Ole Miss game. And certainly that was emotional. But it does feel like there's a good foundation.
And I think that's why Brent kind of seems okay. I mean, he hates the loss just like anybody else.
Sure.
But
they have a good foundation. They have a good unit of guys that have seen how a team needs to be led.
But you gotta resupply on the defensive line a little bit.
100%.
You still, assume Jake Michael is back, right? I mean, like, he can come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a center. You need to find
you have
some
4
backups.
of your starting offensive linemen back. So and
you can bump out Foje to tackle him. You got Heath Ozida. Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens in the portal. There's always a few surprises. You never know. But
Sure.
I'd have to think Oklahoma's going to retain a good amount of the guys that were big-time contributors.
Eli Bowen talked about that a little bit.
He did.
I thought, just real quick, like John Mateer came up to the podium. He was asked about his future. He said that, it's something he's going to take a look at the next couple of weeks.
The McDonald's Snack Wrap is back. You brought it back. Ranch Snack Wrap. Spicy Snack Wrap. You broke the internet for a snack. Snack Wrap is back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I don't think any of us can see him, going to the NFL.
No, I mean, if he's not here, I think that means he entered the transfer portal.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's ready to have that conversation about the National Football League.
And I think it's twofold. I don't think Ben Arbuckle is going to let anyone give up on John Mateer, just like I don't think John Mateer is going to leave Ben Arbuckle and go somewhere else.
Yeah. Unless it's just a decision that they both make and say, hey, we tried. But I have nothing there's nothing that makes me think that that's going to be the case.
And, I think it would be good if Kevin Wilson stayed around for another year, but you never know there. I mean, maybe he gets an opportunity. But I think he's been good for Ben Arbuckle to kind of help navigate the SEC and what they're facing there. But, I mean, look, like we talked about earlier, John Mateer, he can get better out of this. This is the first time for him to be playing the LSUs and the Alabamas.
That's what I always like. People have said to me, they're like, well, this is his third year in the offense. Like, we know what he is. And it's like, you don't know what he is. Like you can't compare this year to last year. Like, it's not a fair comparison. And maybe he doesn't get better. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he's 1,000% going to be a better player next year. But if you're Oklahoma, I think that's a bet you have to take, that he will get better and that this was a huge learning experience for not only him, but Ben Arbuckle.
And you make him better by building a better roster around him.
Yeah, and you give him some confidence. You hope that he doesn't break his hand on a freak accident, in the Auburn game. Like, you have to bet on that. I don't think that it's reasonable to not bet on that.
And, as with your story this week, George, I mean, everybody is happy with Brent Venables right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
The money people, the administrators, the president, like
they believe in this thing.
Yeah.
And they're going to trust Brent on this. And Brent believes in John Mateer. I mean, the way he talked about Mateer after the game tonight should tell you what he thinks of him. And so, like, all the people out there, again, I get it. If you want to move on from him, that can be your opinion. You can keep banging on the door about that. But I'm just telling you, that's not happening. I don't think. You never know. You never know in the portal era.
Yeah, speaking of absolutes.
But I just
it'd be hard to see that
it'd be pretty surprising.
Yeah. But then, we also got Kip Lewis to worry about.
I think he's leaving.
Kobe McKenzie could come back, but
I think he's also leaving.
He certainly talked kind of like a guy that's ready
Which
to
that one's the one that even Heineke getting a Senior Bowl invite, that's tough to turn down.
Yeah.
Now, I do think he's going to come back if he gets the other year. I mean, he talked about that again tonight. I think Heineke wants to come back. I just don't know if he's going to get the extra eligibility. Kobe's one that, man, I feel like he should come back. I mean, he didn't have just a great year. I mean, I don't think he'd get drafted. Maybe he would.
I don't know.
If he did, it would be late.
Yeah.
Whereas
The
if you
thing
can
with
come back and
Kobe,
be the guy.
He's not like Kip or Heineke, where they're just flying around and blitzing and doing all kinds of stuff. He's more of a run stuffer.
And I don't know if I think he's one of those guys too that, like, talking about Kobe, that he's about to get married. He might just want to go get on with his life.
Yeah.
And
Let's see if I can do this or not.
Maybe
and if
football's
not,
a part of it.
Yeah.
He's going to give it a go. I really don't know. That's just kind of knowing him how we do. I kind of feel like that's maybe the direction he's coming from. But I don't know.
I'd say if I had the money and I was going to make a hire for a media person that's a former player, Kobe'd be pretty high on my list.
He's awesome.
Great. He's great. That's the thing. It's like this entire team. I'm trying to think outside of maybe 2017 where we had a really good relationship with like Baker and Mark Andrews and those guys. By far the most enjoyable team.
They were a lot of fun to cover.
And Brent's had a lot of those guys in. I mean, they are good at attracting good people. Like Trace Ford, great guy. Kendall Daniels, I think, a great guy.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who I think will play a lot of football in the future.
Yeah.
Kendall Daniels.
They need to go. That's one area in the portal they're going to have to go and get somebody like that.
What about Peyton Bowen?
He'll come back. I think teams will tell him, because he hasn't had, this is his first full season being healthy.
Right.
I think teams will be like, you need to go back another year and you could be one of the top safeties taken in the draft. Because he had a really good year.
Yeah.
But right now he's probably a day 3 kind of player. And if he comes back, he can be a day 2 type of guy.
I would say, other than Wine, Peyton Bowen's probably had the biggest stock up on the defense. Taylor Wine.
Oh, I mean, yeah. The type of year that he
Cortland
had.
Guillory.
Cortland Guillory had a big stock
year.
up, yeah. And I think even,
I mean, David Stone's obvious. They need to get Jaden Jackson healthy. PJ probably had a better year than anybody will give him credit for. I think just in terms of development and actually showing flashes of, okay.
Yeah,
he played a lot
did
tonight.
stuff on the field.
Right.
Yeah, he played a lot tonight.
Excited to see Danny Okoye continue to grow. Excited to see Marcus Strong continue to grow. It's going to be really interesting what they do in the interior, because I don't think they're going to obviously be as deep as they were this year with losing Grayson and Dominic Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Grayson's going to be a bigger loss than just about anybody.
Yeah, and I think just from a leadership standpoint, too.
He was so good this year.
So, yeah, but, last year we were like, oh, God, Danny and Billy are gone. Can this defense be as good? And they were better. And you have young guys like Michael Boganowski on the come up. And, linebacker, they need some more guys there, obviously.
Gonna have to.
But defensive end, like you said, Danny Okoye.
You feel pretty good about it.
You feel good there.
Maybe Jake Krull can come in and give you a little bit of help. The concern for me is that linebacker core and what that could look like if they end up losing all of these guys. They're going to have to completely reconfigure
Kip,
that
and
room.
Owen, yeah,
they're going to have to completely reconfigure it. And I think the scary part about that is just knowing like how important it is of having knowledge of the defense and not really having a whole lot of time to let people grow into their spot. That's a concern for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how they attack that.
I'm sure that we're going to have a season breakdown to go more in depth on this stuff.
Yeah.
Coming up this week or next.
Do it on the U40 this
Gotta
week.
get doing a portal report soon, I'm sure.
God, there were. It was like the portal actually opened yesterday or 2 days ago. Just people were just shotgunning. As soon as their seasons were over,
yeah,
it just started going.
Wouldn't be
nuts.
shocked if we start seeing portal entries for Oklahoma here in the next couple days.
Well, we already saw
Kendall Dolby,
yeah.
Which is not shocking. I'm sure Javonte Barnes will be next, which he did not play tonight.
And he went through warm-ups, and he was dressed out and looked fired up to be out there.
He was never. There's part of me that thought maybe they'd throw him out there like a certain package, but
I think with him it was
happen.
like break glass in case of emergency.
Yeah.
All right. Team 131. I don't know if we need to have some kind of Eddie ceremony to.
Eddie cried on the instant reaction.
No, I didn't. I got choked up.
I don't know. There was tears flowing.
There was no tears.
Maybe we need to get you a tea endorsement.
There was no tears. No, it's always sad when the season comes to an
end. It does suck. I always hate when the game
but it is so weird too because it's not ending in a bowl game.
Mm-hmm.
Like they basically went to one of the best bowl games that you could go to, but it's not really acknowledged.
Sure.
It is kind of nice it's over earlier, I guess. But
yeah, I would have
every time I say that though, I know. That's like before the game I was like, well, if they lose, like I guess it's, not too bad. But then as soon as the game goes, it's like, oh, I'd like to go to Los Angeles. That'd be quite fun to go cover the Rose Bowl.
It would have been awesome.
And you know what I said? Saved a lot of money.
Yeah, we did save a lot of money, but it would have been so cool.
I was ready to go. I had...
We were looking at flights.
Yeah, we researched flights yesterday.
Sucks.
We had a plan. It's a really weird schedule, too, because the teams, you have open practices when they're still on campus and media while they're still on campus, and then they fly out there in the middle of the week, and you have to catch them when they land to do more media. So we were kind of trying to plan, okay, when do we fly out?
Don't have to worry about that.
Don't have to worry about that now. And, yeah, we'll still have content, but, we would have loved to be doing content of OU still playing football. But we move on.
Let me ask you guys this.
Oh, I do have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
God damn it.
I have one question.
I've been wanting to ask this. I think I know the answer for you guys. I wonder, it's like when the Thunder lose, and God damn it, they lost tonight. I don't want to watch the NBA for it, stings, and I don't want to watch any other NBA. But
I'll be watching every
college football. I think most people will still watch all the games. tomorrow.
I'll watch Miami A&M, and I'll keep an eye on. I'll probably have it on
Oregon,
in the background.
JMU.
Oregon, JMU, and Ole Miss, Tulane. Just
Bears
because
Packers can be a better game, anyways.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm not.
I don't think JMU can.
Yeah. Okay, let me ask my question.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And this one might be depressing, but it could also not be depressing. Do you guys think we'll ever do this show after OU wins a national championship?
Judging by the direction this program is headed right now, I would say yes.
Not with Brent Venables. No. I mean, yes. Maybe. Probably not.
There's a much better chance of it happening after this season than any previous 3 seasons.
And that's what I was about to say. Is like
It feels like the program's going in the right direction.
Yeah,
I would say that yes.
And I was going to say the fact that I can even ask that question. If I asked that question last year, I think Eddie would have just kicked me in the balls and said, "You're fired. You can't work here anymore."
He has some ownership in the company, but he doesn't have the ability to make those.
But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You guys would have been like, "Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up!" You know.
Here's the thing, like.
How do we fire you, Carey?
It's impossible.
Damn it.
You like paychecks? Okay, repeat again what you said.
Do you think we'll ever
national championship?
No,
okay.
Do you think we'll ever do this podcast after OU wins a national championship?
I think it's possible right now, and I wouldn't have said that a year ago. I'm not saying. I mean, to me, that's a dumb yes or no question. It's just like, I think it's possible.
Yeah. Stay tuned. 2026. We'll see you there.
Here's where I'm really interested in. Like, what does this season do for the people paying for players?
I think they'll invest more. And that's what I'm very curious. What does it also do in terms of who they can legitimately get in the portal? Because there were some guys last year that I think they would have liked to go after. They had no chance.
Yeah.
And they knew they had no chance. They didn't have the money, and they also didn't have the prominence or whatever you want to call it to even be in the conversation with some of those players.
Right.
This year, I think they do. I think they have a legitimate case.
when you look at what 27 or 2027 kids are saying about OU playing defense for Brent Venables, like you have to think that there's going to be some kids in college that feel the same way. Like that's where you want to go to play on a great defense.
And I think that they'll want to play with some of these guys. Like I genuinely believe that there'll be players out there, wide receivers, tight ends, that would like to play for somebody like.
But that's
John
my
Mateer.
question. Like if you offer Cam Coleman the same money as, let's say, Texas, or maybe Texas is not the best example, Ohio State, like, is he ever going to pick OU with the offense kind of falling off the last couple of years?
Probably not. But you could go get the next guy. Last year, OU had to go. You got players from McNeese and Arkansas Pine Bluff.
But that's like you were talking about. Wasn't there a receiver like at North Carolina that went there?
I don't know.
I'm just trying to think of good receivers that
it's
OU
almost
was kind
4.
of.
Is it 4 a.m.?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've not even gone an hour. Well, we just went over
That's
an
crazy.
hour.
I was about to say that's crazy.
Saying you're bored by the podcast is what you're saying.
No, I'm just tired.
I'm tired. Eddie was calling me this morning early because I forgot to send the tickets last night.
It wasn't early.
7:04.
What? I didn't call you at 7:04. I called you at 10:30 this morning.
Weren't
Carey.
you?
That was early.
Didn't you have radio?
I didn't do it. What? You have that choice too.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You're way more valuable than you think you are to that station.
No comment.
You should tell them what you are and are not going to do.
Yeah, I don't have 4 other people that I can rely on.
Is that a shot? Because Phil was on vacation, and so was Teabag, so I screwed them over pretty good. Yeah, I can't find it. Anyway, George,
I didn't call you at 7 a.m. I know that.
I think it was
texted you.
10. I think it was 10.
Called you at 10:30.
I didn't turn my phone on vibrate. Anyway, okay, that's enough. I'll end this madness that I started. George, you can go home.
See y'all next year.
You You're a women's basketball expert now.
Yeah, and transfer
Ginny
portal.
Branchick
We'll
was
have a
down
lot
there
of-
on the field. It was a who's who down there tonight.
Kyler Murray, shout out.
Kyler Murray was down there. Saw Taylor Lewan. I didn't see Compton. I saw all of Pat McAfee's guys. Even AJ was down there. Urban Meyer walked out with Bob Stoops together. So, yeah. Laura Rutledge was lovely as well. All right, that's going to do it. We're going to go get to bed. We're going to, not together. We're going to bed. We'll see you guys next year on the Eskridge Lexus Postgame Podcast.